Gonna get her carrot.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of Keep the Mic On
Go
this
ahead.
week.
Grab it.
Um, my name is simply Sherry. I hope everyone has
Go
had
ahead. You can do
a
it.
phenomenal couple of weeks. I know we were out last week, and this is what we
Daddy
call
gonna
our
take
year
Lexi
in
for you.
review, our year in wrap up before we take our break going into uh, 2023. My week is called From Behind the Microphone, where we take the time to get to know the person behind the performance. Because the performers are people too, and we want to make sure that everybody knows that that these stories that we sing, that we speak, that we tell come from somewhere. So that's what we want to learn and know about. I am going to introduce Ms. Cayenne, our newest member this year. Unfortunately, Miss Cayenne, she's a poet and she knows it, is suffering a bout of laryngitis. so,
Yes, she
so,
is.
so she is being a
Yes.
trooper joining us this evening.
I told her
And
just come on and show her a smile and some earrings. You got the earrings and the earrings. That's what I'm saying.
yep.
That's what I said. Yes, but
So
she can
we
be a poet with no voice because she got them words. You understand? Well, her
exactly.
segment has been called Passion Projects: The Roots Behind the Why.
Yes.
Yes.
So we are definitely going to let everyone know she is here to say hello. And for now, I'm going to kick it to yes, I got it right first shot
All
to
right.
Nikki Jakarta.
Oh yeah, look, it's this way. I was like, which way? We never know which way is on the camera.
Because it's opposite day around
It's
here.
It's
opposite.
opposite day.
Yeah, so I am Kaniki Jakarta. We have been doing this thing here since March 2020. March 2020.
Yes.
It's
Woo.
been a while. We brought you this, what you have deemed to be a master class during the pandemic, and we didn't let it go because you said you didn't want us to let it go. So, as we go into the new year, this is our season finale. Scrolling at the bottom of your screen, you see our Cash App. Everybody that comes on this show, including us, volunteers their time for free, but the platforms are not free. If you would like us to continue to do this, we ask that you drop some coinage in our Cash App. It's scrolling. And just so you know, it's called Keep the Mic On. Everywhere. We're going to keep the mic on everywhere. So be sure to follow us. Follow, like, share, and subscribe.
Please subscribe. We
Please
are getting
subscribe.
Thank
so
you.
close
Yes, please
Please
to our
subscribe
first
subscribe.
100.
to our first 100. So I mean, I
Please
know it's
subscribe.
many people watching, but I need you to subscribe. So do that for us. Give that to us as a present. If you can't make a donation, we love to have you to subscribe. Now, my week is called Poets and Platforms, where I interview poets who have platforms for the arts, and I am going to kick it to the one, the only. They don't call her the girl genius for nothing.
Hi, everyone. It's funny because I can see you, but I can't see you because I'm actually sharing this to my page. I'm doing all the fun background stuff that I normally do when we do these intros. So anyway, I am Girl Genius for those who don't know me. And if you don't know me by now, you got like a month to figure your life out before we come back around or sell something like that. Anyway, I am the currently the first week of every month. So this would normally be my week, but we have deemed this the end of year wrap up. My week is called Let's Talk About the dot 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 usually books. Although we have delved into some other creative endeavors, which are always awesome. The point of which is to find out like what makes how we get from oh great, I have this idea to do something to oh my god, I have a finished product and you can have it for the low price of whatever the price is. There you go.
Mhm.
And all the things on how to get from point A to point B. So yeah, that's me. I'm here. Yay. I'm excited to do this end of the year wrap up.
So am I.
Um,
I
I
think
don't know
this.
where you want to start tonight, but I got some stuff for you.
Oh,
So
we're going to start. I think the best place to start this evening, because Kaniki tells the story so well. About first off, blessings to you as well, Divine Right. We appreciate you here this evening. Everyone, please feel free to drop comments wherever you're watching. Let us know you're here. We'll respond. We're nice people. Also, normally we go for about 90 minutes on a show night when we're doing a regular interview. We'll probably go a little bit less, a little bit shorter tonight. because it's just, just the girls talking in front of all of y'all.
Mhm.
So, and since Kaniki tells the story so well, Kaniki, tell those who are watching who may never have heard the story before how we went from nothing
How we got
to
here?
this.
You want people to know how we didn't know? Okay, so it all started with a post at the height of the pandemic. I made a post that said, I'm gonna go back and find that post too. I made a post that said something like, do I have to make all of my shows virtual, or do I have to go virtual or something? And then I got hit up by Charity, Joyce Blackwell, the whole name, Simply Sherry, and Girl Genius all hit me up. Oh, and Laura DeFranco all responded to that post. Then Laura and I did some things, and then Charity said, let's have a meet. What's up? Let's have a meeting tonight, right? So we all got on Google Meet, Google Hangout. We all got on Google Hangouts. We were like, this was like one day during the week. So say if it was like a Monday, then that Sunday, we were live. We were like, let's just go live. We gonna do it. Charity, who was our previous interviewer and one of our co-hosts, she was like, I already bought the Zoom. We about to go live. We're just gonna interview each other, right? So, and we were like, what are we gonna call it? We don't know. I think I get credit for this. I think I may have said, because we need to keep the mic on. And then Girl Genius said, that's the name of the show. Keep the mic on. I just remember Girl Genius saying that's the name of the show.
The name came from Charity was writing notes in Google Meet, and she had not finished the sentence. And the beginning of the sentence was something, keep the mic. And I was like, and this is what we need to call the show. She hadn't finished writing the sentence yet.
All I remember is you saying that's gonna be the name of the show.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's what
she was taking notes, and that's where we were.
We had absolutely no idea what we were doing. Zoom back in the day, we're going to 2023. So when we're on our eHollywood story, we'll start off by saying that Zoom was only used for corporate offices back then. We were not using Zoom for open mics and things of on an artistic platform. So we decided quickly that Google Meet was not going to be the platform that we use. So we knew a little bit about Zoom. I don't think we knew how to like record it and upload it or something. So some of those beginning people, we don't have their information. We need to bring them back. We don't.
Those first. I think
we brought a few of them back this year.
We brought one or two of them back. We still have like 3 or 4 more.
Did one of us not get interviewed during our interview thing?
This one over there.
Still not interviewed. I'm gonna ask you a question tonight. I bet you, because we all were going to interview each other. We were going to interview each other. We did interview each other. And then some kind of way.
I didn't partake in that. Yes.
No. 2023, you got to do it.
I don't remember who our first guest was.
Our first guest, I think our first official guest Vision?
No.
Vision? No. Was it Dwayne?
No. Before my first guest on this show was C. Thomas and Cameron.
Right.
Yeah, and that would have been when we interviewed you, I think.
Yeah. So the first, that's right. That was those were our first guests because I interviewed you, then you interviewed me, Kaniki.
Yes.
And then eventually we interviewed Charity.
Yeah, and then I interviewed Charity.
And then earlier this year we interviewed Miss Cayenne.
And earlier this year we interviewed Miss Cayenne. Yeah. So next
I
year,
bypass that whole process.
Girl Genius. Next year it's gonna happen. You're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do it.
That's around. I'll be to interview you tonight.
Wait a second. Hold up. And truth of the matter is, the only one of those 5 interviews we just discussed, 4 interviews we just discussed that is recorded and available anywhere is Miss Cayenne.
Because it was this year.
When we got the StreamYard.
I will say that once we've all known each other as poets. I claim if you hear baby in the background, she's not our so silent member. She wants me to get her, but she can't get God right now.
Exactly.
But I claim Sherry as my cousin because we for many, many years did not know how we met. When we met, nobody knows. We just family. Okay,
we must be family.
But once we started to interview each other, and once we were talking, and I was like finding out what these women do for a living, I was like, I just know your poems. I don't know y'all at all. When I tell you that Girl Genius and Simply Sherry can rule the world, believe me, I do not lie. Believe me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Baby. You gotta call on the baby.
It's your baby.
It's all right. That's what they want to do at this hour, at this time of their lives. They want to be known. So we have been live on YouTube. We've been we figured out how to get live on Facebook. I think within the first 6 months, we figured out how to get live on Facebook.
Yeah.
In May of last year, we switched from using Zoom to coming over to StreamYard, which was probably one of the best decisions we've ever made.
Right.
True story.
And so now we're here, and we are our everything is growing still, and we're really excited about everything that has happened. Because it's truly a lot of fun to get to know the people that we see perform with us and around us all the time. Like, we see them, but we don't get a chance to hear their backstories and hear how they process through blocks and changes. I'll say it that way. So the first question we ask is always like, first off, we love everybody we've interviewed and we love all of our interviews, but we can't lie. We all have a favorite. So, Girl Genius, I'm going to start with you. I have Cayenne's in the notes, but I figured I would start with you since I've just spent the time talking.
I have 3 that stuck out.
Okay.
I have 3 that stuck out. 2 were mine, and 1 was not mine, but kind of, sort of, somewhat. My 3 that stuck out. The first 2 from my segment, Brandy Fortes. That was a good one for me. That was a really good one for me because, okay, some of y'all didn't know, like Brandy is, I know who she is. I don't think we'd ever met in real life before that interview.
Okay.
I don't think we have. And I tell you, she dropped so many, I didn't know I needed to hear this until I heard it moments in that interview that I damn near came to tears. Like, I didn't know I needed this in my life that day or any other day for that matter. That interview was phenomenal. My second favorite was Obi West.
Obi's was so good.
Obi's was one that it took a while to coordinate it. And when we did, it was so worth it. And the whole conversation was just so good. It was just so good. He's an amazing person and an amazing artist all the way across the board. But I definitely have known him and met him in real life. But that interview was really good. And we're gonna bring this one up a couple of times tonight. Is Jeff's interview? Yes. Wasn't mine, but definitely yes.
I wanted to. Miss Cayenne said she had the same reaction to Brandy Forte's interview. I think I remember when that interview was, and I was not here that night. That's all we're going to say about that.
Run that. That's one you'll want to run back a couple of times. It's one of those ones that I'm telling you, she dropped so much stuff you didn't know you needed. You're like, wait a minute. Hold on. I spent a lot of time doing that, and I know I did.
Okay. For Ms. Cayenne, she mentions her first episode was Rebecca Lauren. She made up a song on the spot on the show.
Is it Lauren or Lauren? Lauren.
Okay.
Look, honey, I was gonna pick her because she did not come to play. She had a whole setup in the background, man. I was like, I'm on my phone. Like, where do I follow this child on the show? Right? Yeah. She is amazing. And you know what? She is going to be at Miss Cayenne owns a nonprofit, and she does a yearly event called The Gathering. Open mic with the cause, and it's going to be this coming Saturday at 5:30. Is the ticket still available, Miss Cayenne? Tickets are still available for
Please
that.
Drop the link for the tickets.
Drop the link in there. Yeah. So if you saw the show, this is your opportunity to see her in person. If you didn't see the show, listen, come to the show so you can see the show. That's what I'm saying.
Go to the show.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Her second choice was True and Kissy, the creative couple. The synergy of their gifts is really impressive. Love their creative together and separately. They have some sound couple advice, and I also agree that was an amazing show.
That was amazing. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, because it was different in that what they do is different.
Yeah, and I also think that's the first. Was that the first married couple we ever had on here?
No, didn't we have Mark Cuban and
yeah. We had Cuban and Alicia before.
Yes.
Last season. Yes, man. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that. I forgot we did that last season. Yes.
That was my interview. Thank you. They were wonderful. They are wonderful people.
Love them. Love them.
All right, Kaniki, your favorites this year?
Well, I am going to say I'm going to veggie back because I don't eat pork. So I'm going to veggie back off of Rebecca Loren. I loved her. Who I thought was the most hilarious was Gail Danley. Child, if you ain't seen Gail Danley, listen, to me, it seemed like it was this year. Listen,
that was last season.
That was last season. That intrigued on over in my mind.
It was wild though. I ain't gonna lie, that was a wild one. But yeah, that was last season.
Well, from this year, definitely Complex, who we just interviewed not long ago. It was a whole healing section. It was not just about the art, it was about the artist and healing. And that was one of my, I think we needed a whole nother hour.
I agree with that. Yeah.
There's a couple people we need like multiple sessions.
Yes.
With
just to be able to sit with them.
Was Shinyear this year?
No, Shinyear was last year. That's what you know what? We need to write that one down.
We need to bring back. We need to bring back Yeah.
It's some people that just stuck with me. Like, you know how y'all are saying Brandy. Brandy is a friend of mine. She's always like that, right? She always has all that good, that profoundness, right? But it's a couple people that really stuck with me. And Shinyear was definitely one of them, even though she wasn't this season. But yeah. So who are your favorites?
Definitely Cindiva from August. That interview, y'all know I told y'all I was crying before I did the interview because of the story that I knew that we were going to discuss. That interview was in August. It is still live everywhere. Everyone, please go listen to it. If we had to subtitle it, it was really what happens when you can't do your art. What happens when you just can't. And that was a very good interview. I definitely have to, as you say, veggie back on Danielle and say Jeff Johnson.
Yes.
That was one that we had been waiting to do and just getting him tracked down.
Is he still the person who had the most views?
He is our two, and wait a minute. And these two, Cindiva and Jeff Johnson. Jeff Johnson 1, Cindiva 2, our top watched interviews.
Okay.
I have your top 5 and an honorable mention if you want to know who's.
Go ahead. I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else that? And I think this is one because it wasn't a live interview. I think people missed it. Maurice Carroll gave out a lot of good information about being a part of the music industry.
Yes.
That was one of our pre-recorded interviews. We do that and we just like upload them and just like let y'all know that this is what we've done. But y'all, everyone, if you haven't listened to that interview yet, I would suggest you go back because especially as going forward, there is a spoken word Grammy, a spoken word poetry Grammy. Those were the things that we were talking about in that interview. And he's one of the people I would like to do like a quick half an hour, like bring him back live for a half an hour and just chat.
I like that idea.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Go ahead, Girl Genius. Who were our top 5?
So we've already told you who our top 2 is. So in order of like most watched for just this season, one was Jeff. That definitely was by far our most watched. Cindiva was number 2. Drew was number 3. And I have your top 5 and an honorable mention. Drew was number 3. That somehow doesn't surprise me. Followed very closely by Rob Brown.
You gotta say Drew who? Nobody knows who you're talking about.
Drew.
Drew Anderson.
Drew Anderson. Drew wrote all of you.
Right. Drew Anderson was number 3, followed very closely by Rob Brown. They're almost they're neck and neck on numbers.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Right. And then number 5, this one, it was almost a sleeper because I was like, I'm not surprised. Randy Preston was number 5. And then right behind that, your honorable mention for like our top shows this year was actually Complex. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are all good. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And all of them were excellent. But yeah, definitely your most watched were definitely Jeff and Sendiva. But like I said, right behind that came Drew Anderson and Rob Brown. Like those 2 interviews were both amazing.
Oh, that's right. It's been a crazy year. I was like, how could I forget we interviewed Rob Brown?
That was just like last month.
I know.
And that also was one of those well overdue and perfectly timed interviews.
Yeah. And we have people that we know. We're saying this to the audience and for those that do listen to us. Oh, I also have to say Black Root was a fun interview this year.
Yes.
Black Root was a good interview.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. Awesome. That was very fun.
But there's always people that we have in our backgrounds that we're like, oh, we got to get this person. We got to get this person. We got to get this person. And then stuff happens and it shifts around. But we always come back because I definitely saw one recently that we got to get back to. Somebody we've seen that we need to talk to. Somebody I've seen recently that we need to get on the show.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of that going around. There's a bunch of people that I'm like, freaking frick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I either haven't seen you and I see you back now and I'm glad you're back because now it's a note to myself to like, hey, we need to chat.
Exactly.
But don't we have news from this year too? Don't we have some news on some of our past guests too?
That was going to be my next question.
Well, let me see. I just got a text message. I don't want to tell you wrong, so I want to look from our past guests from this year from Complex. I just got a message. I want to tell you he is starting his own podcast.
Yay!
He sent it to me in a group message. Hold on, let me see. Here it is. Okay, so it's starting in 2023. It's called Solutions Talk. With him and Testimony is launching next month.
Oh, nice.
They're talking about addiction, community relationships, and family dysfunction.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a Tuesday.
Podcast before we go into news. Speaking of podcasts,
we are
one
now.
of the things we did this year. One of the things we did this year.
Yeah,
we are on Spotify. I am working. I promise you I am to get. Look, as I sit here with a stabby pen. I am working. I promise you I am to get us on other podcast platforms, Apple, and a couple of other ones, just so that you have options. But right now, Spotify is the place. I have loaded past season episodes and some of the current ones from this year by probably January as we get into launching the next set of. By the time we figure out what we're doing the next set of shows, and we already know what we're doing, but yeah, by the time we kind of launch into the next set of shows, I should have most of this season in there. So if you have missed anything, if you have time, if you want to play this in the background and catch these gems while you're doing stuff, we do have Spotify. We are on Spotify. We are Keep the Mic on all things. I promise you, it is totally worth it. If like I said, you don't have time to watch a video, you're getting the experience in the podcast.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely on a podcast is definitely a way, something you can have on in the background while you're doing something around the house.
Absolutely,
as we all do this time of year. I want to throw out prior season guests: Mark Avon Evans, Kevin Jackson, Black Root, and a full cadre of amazing Baltimore artists will be performing on January 23rd at Magooby's Joke House. They are doing an 80s and 90s tribute event from 6 to 8. Tickets are on sale now. I'm going to send you over to Music by Kevin Jackson on IG. He's probably got the link somewhere. I did not bring it out with me. But prior to the pandemic and the quarantines, they were doing that show yearly or some version of that show. I can tell you it's an amazing event. So if you get it, so if you have the opportunity, you are available that night, I say hearken thee to Baltimore to go see that.
Mm-hmm.
We have new books, Danielle. Girl Genius, we have new books.
We do. Two people who I know are dropping big, huge, major publishing deal type books. Actually, there's three people that I know that are dropping big, major deal books. First one is C. Thomas.
Yes.
Who has a book coming out in April.
And the only reason I know this is because I literally just got off the phone with him and with them, and they were going to feature with me in January at Busboys and Poets. However, to coincide with the book release, we have moved that back to April. So they will be featuring with me in April.
Fantastic.
Yes, book release is April 6th at the Athenaeum.
Yes,
I got the email.
That book will be in April.
Yeah.
I think we announced that I had Courtney LeBlanc on here like a while back, and we were talking publishing. And I think I mentioned somewhere in one of the news segments that she got a publishing deal with Bright Bloody, which is a big freaking deal. So I want to say her book comes out March. If I'm not mistaken, it's March. I have to go back and double check, but I want to say it's March. But her book, she did a cover reveal. So if you follow her, the cover's up there and the date's up there. It's a phenomenal cover. I will find it while we were having this conversation because it's on my IG. Okay. And who else did I say? That's two. And B. Sharice, who's also been here before.
Yes.
She is doing huge things. And she got like a 3-book deal with a major publisher. And one of those books is dropping next year. If not two, I think it's one, but if not one, if not two, is dropping next year.
Oh, that's right. So and also I know we've mentioned on a prior news segment, Rebecca Dupas, Dr. Rebecca Dupas, who was also a prior guest, has dropped 3 new books. Somebody Else's Blues. Those are out and available now.
Oh yeah, because she's in town. We've had Teresa Songbird on here. Her poem, "You So Black," got turned into a children's book.
Yes, I cannot wait for that to come. Yes,
illustrated children's book. I believe that comes out in January as well. I wish it was December because that would make an excellent Christmas gift.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
I did not know that. I'm so happy for that.
The illustrations, whoever did her illustrations, and I will ask her about this. Whoever she shouted them out, but whoever did her illustrations, they are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So.
Anybody who would like to buy that book I have a 7-month-old. So anybody who would like to buy the You So Black, when you smile, the sun comes out. I would like to. I'm
actually go get all of this information. If you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
Don't mind. Yeah, if you see us looking down, which we know is not exactly the most professional thing to do, we're just trying to make sure that we have kept track of everything and everybody that we work with, because we work with a lot of people. We want to congratulate Carlin Newhouse. She got an invitation to Watering Hole.
Oh, that's right. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, she was invited to Watering Hole. So we want to definitely shout that out.
All right. Here's what I found out so far. Teresa's book is on Amazon on pre-order as of right now. Okay. So just look up "You So Black," Teresa the Songbird. That book is on order from Amazon. Like I said, I found the illustrations. You can't see my phone very well, but these illustrations are freaking phenomenal. If I can get it where you can at least see a little bit of it.
Oh, wait a second. Hold up. Keep talking. We will make magic happen.
Make that pull it up. Right. Make that pull it up. Like I said, this is what happens. I'm trying to get a date for Courtney's book release because I talked about all this stuff and I was like, I should have had this at hand, but my brain just was like, no, it's been a long day, y'all. It's been a lot. It's been a whole lot.
And we spoke about Opie West. Someone.
I was right. Yes. Courtney's book is April 4th, 2023. And the cover reveal is freaking beautiful. If you look her up, this is the cover reveal. I don't know how much you can actually see. It's really, really gorgeous. So that book is April 2023. So yay for that.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to pull
our previous
I'm going to
season.
pull up the images for.
This is she's gonna pull up the images for us. I wanted to shout out Roscoe Burnhams, who is the current and the first poet laureate for Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Just went on what's the name of the show, y'all?
Apollo.
Thank you, Apollo.
Apollo. Yes.
Yes, sure did.
Oh, and speaking of Obi, we forgot about Obi's news too. Forgot about that.
Go ahead and talk about Obi, then we'll get into these pictures because Obi's was amazing.
He not just do a poem for the Los Angeles Chargers.
The San Diego Chargers.
San Diego Chargers.
Yes, they are Los Angeles Chargers. Yes.
Yeah.
Wherever they at, he did it.
I don't follow the food. Listen, y'all forgive me. I do not follow the Foosy Ball. Okay, I said what I said. I do not follow foosball.
I'm going to stop sharing this.
That's my wife's territory. That's my wife's territory
for a moment because there's right. But yeah, he did a poem for the Chargers. If you go to Obi West on Instagram, he has the whole poem posted there
on the Jumbotron. And yeah, it's amazing.
On the Jumbotron, there's definitely a thing going on with sports and poetry this year.
Didn't you do something? Simply Sherry? Didn't you do something with one of them? Something?
Yeah. Didn't you?
Didn't you do something? Can you tell?
Yes, I did.
Something you did.
Something I did. Talk women. I got to talk about me. Yes, I did.
Halftime.
I did halftime for the Washington Mystics for gun violence in their center court back in June. I do have the video for that. It is still probably, it feels like one of the most surreal things I have ever done. Like just to be standing center court.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Understood.
So thank you for acknowledging. I appreciate that. I also want to throw out that Ephraim Nehemiah has done a voiceover commercial, a poem for the World Cup, which I do not have any information.
Right.
I have no information when this is going to air.
Wow.
Ephraim was my last guest last month. I have no idea when this is going to air or what's going to happen, but I know that they did it.
Wow.
Yes.
We know some amazing people. We do. Yes. We know some amazing
Thank
people.
you, Divine Right. Thank you, Divine Right.
And clearly we are amazing people too. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
We are. We are.
It's
I'm still in a it's interesting because I was teaching this week. I was teaching on Thursday. And one thing I always say when I'm talking to new poets in general is that if I am doing an old poem in front of a new crowd, I'm nervous, like I've never done a poem before. If I'm doing a new poem in front of a crowd I know, I'm the same level of nervous. I said, do y'all know? I said, I was doing a new poem in front of a largest crowd I have ever seen.
That's interesting.
I was like, but I'm telling this to the students going, nerves are part of the game. But
right.
Yeah, that is probably the most nervous I have ever been performing. I think I walked off.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And as far as I knew at the time, I knew nobody in the arena. Like nobody I knew was there. I had invited some friends, but they were caught in traffic getting there. It wasn't until it was over that one of the people that I invited to be there with me ran up on me and said I was late, but I was here. And they saw me from another side of the room. Charity turned out to be there just out of the blue. And somebody else that I know just happened to be there, but I knew none of this. as I'm walking down to the
Oh wow,
court.
that's wild.
Yeah, it was wild. It was
I saw it on the Facebook, and I was like, "What is this? What is she doing? Where's she at? What's happening?" I saw, you know how the elders called it, the Facebook.
The Facebook, right?
The book of faces.
The book of faces. That's what I called it. The book of faces.
That definitely had to be the highlight of my year. That is definitely a highlight of my year. Was that event.
Mm-hmm. We're so proud of you, Sherry. There is nothing simple about you, girl.
Nope, not at all.
Nothing simple.
Okay, so we started talking about other stuff, and we said I would bring up the photos for Teresa's book, You So Black, with illustrations by London Ladd.
Oh. Yes.
The book is currently available for pre-order.
Yep. And then
these
aren't they gorgeous?
Mm-hmm. And like I said, if anybody would like to order that book for me, for my child, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Wow. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is gorgeous. So we say congratulations. And the book will publish on January 10th.
Yes.
Lovely. My birthday is January 7th.
We are excited.
Just so y'all know, January 7th is my birthday. I'm just trying to, if you want to buy it for me, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Things and such. So, Girl Genius.
Yeah.
I have put Simply Sherry on the spot. Tell us what you have coming up and things and such.
Mm-hmm. Actually, let me see. I am currently writing new stuff. Like, I don't have any projects in the works at the moment, minus the fact that I am again going into a new slam season, which means I'll be doing a couple of tournaments. I had told myself, and I told a couple other people that this was going to be that last year was going to be my last season, until I got talked into it by a couple of our former guests,
right,
who have convinced me that I should probably go one more year.
It should have been. You need to, you should go ahead, because we just coming off of COVID. So
yeah. So you will hear me talk about things that are happening in that realm of poetry as we get into next year. WOWPS 2023, which is the Women of the World Poetry Slam, it will be back here in Baltimore. Southern Fried Poetry Slam, which is a Southern regional tournament, will be in Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah. So I'm working on doing both of those in some capacity next year, or at least being there in some capacity. So that is where my head is at the moment. Yeah, I mean, as far as poetry goes, I'm writing for, trying to get some new material together, and doing a modicum of training for the 18-year-old who broods in my downstairs bedroom.
Well, I am looking forward to being in the audience screaming, "Go in, poet!"
I'm trying to get her, by the way, to cut her teeth on a slam. We'll see what happens.
We're waiting. I have one more thing, just for sharing purposes, for things we have talked about. Here is the cover for Courtney LeBlanc's book. I thought I would bring that out too.
Oh, there it is.
Yes. That is a gorgeous cover.
A whole bright.
Ms. Kanicki, Cayenne, go ahead and drop what your work, what you have coming up in 2023 in the back chat. So, Kanicki, what do you have going on in 2020?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you asked. Okay, I'm glad you have asked. So, I was fortunate enough to write a grant and be one of the fellows selected for a Poet Laureate grant for the Academy of American Poets. And my grant was How to Poet. It is about the business of poetry. So if you are an artist, mainly poet, who wants to find out How to Poet. We'll be talking about, we already talked about copyrights. I brought in one of our previous guests from Keep the Mic on eBaby, who has been working for the Copyright Office for decades. And this coming Saturday from noon Eastern Standard Time to 2, I'm bringing in one of my good friends, Ayana Garrett, who is going to talk to us about the differences in a DBA and LLC, a sole proprietorship. We're going to be talking about your mission statement as a poet, and she's going to tell you how to claim correctly all of your art on your taxes. You need to know about that. It is called Bottom Lines, getting down to the finance and of poetry. So definitely, I have registration open. I'm keeping it short, so that keeping it, minimized, so that you are able to ask questions. So if you want to join us for that, I'll find the link and post it in the chat so you can join us for that. But I'm going to be doing an array of workshops, and of course, bringing back Write Like a Woman, who will be going into, I think, is this year 7, year 8? I don't know, child. It's been a couple of years, so I do that quarterly, and then of course I am still hosting at Busboys and Poets at the only Virginia location, where hopefully, fingers crossed, praise in the air, I'm going to be featuring Miss Cayenne on tomorrow. Even if she got the whisper, I wanted to tell her, I hosted one time. I had laryngitis. I got off the plane. I ain't had no voice, but I had a microphone. I could whisper, and I hosted the whole night like this. And next, comments at a microphone.
You can whisper song for your phone.
I whisper. If they could do a whisper song, I can do a whisper hosting, and I did it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So from Miss Cayenne, my upcoming project, Kaniki already spoke of, but this Saturday at Creative Suitland, 5:30 p.m., Cayenne Ink Healing in the Pen, my for-profit, will be hosting an annual community event after a 2-year hiatus. I've tripped over my tongue. I apologize. We'll be hosting its annual community event after a 2-year hiatus. Rebecca Lauren, singer, Lemonade Dream Spotlight poet, and That One Black Girl Arts will be painting live. In 2023, my nonprofit, The Inkwell, has adopted 2 elementary schools and will be teaching young people about creative, reflective writing and teaching them how to process their feelings in a positive way. And she will be taking over as host of Second Thursdays at Busboys and Poets, Hyattsville.
Come on. I love it. I'm going to have to check. I'm going to come and check you out.
Yes, we'll be working together a lot then, because people seem to always want to book my week. July feature. I got you. From our silent male member, as we call him, Analysis, also former guest. Feel free to go back and look for that interview from May of 2021. He is part of the bookstore collective called Red Emma's Bookstore and Coffee House, which is opened at its new location in the Waverly area of Baltimore. They are open Wednesday through Saturday from 8 to 10 on the cafe, 10 to 7 on the bookstore. Red Emma's Mother Earth Poetry Vibe just celebrated its 10th anniversary, being one of the 2 longest active open mics in Baltimore, along with Poets for Dinner. And probably the second and third longest open mics in Baltimore right now are Poets for Dinner, who we need to get Grace on.
Yes, we do.
And Red Emma's Mother Earth Poetry Vibe, followed by But Acoustic Thursday, currently being the longest one, going into 14 years on Acoustic Thursday. So congratulations on that, Mark, Chuck, Irv, and Kevin. Irv has a nickname, and that was the name at the top of my head right there. I guess the only big thing I have right now on my schedule, but y'all have to follow my stuff, because I will say this right now, and in a month all of this will change. But currently my big push for 2023 is I also host with Busboys and Poets at 450 K Street and on Tacoma Park. In January, we are doing what we call, or what I've been calling, Slam January. We should call it Women Slam January. because we will be searching for the Busboys and Poets DC representative for the Women of the World Poetry Slam.
That is
The 9th Hour Poetry Slam will be host. You know what? I'm gonna need to get my calendar out because basically the entire month of January there will be 2 qualifier slams and a final slam, and the winner of the final slam will be the DC representative for Woman of the World. So Friday, January 13th will be the first qualifier at Busboys and Poets, 14th and V. This is for women, non-binary, female presenting poets. The second one that will be the 9th Hour Poetry Slam on January 13th. On January 20th, the Amplifying Women Everywhere, which is normally an open mic, will be the second qualifying slam. That will be hosted by, the 13th will be hosted by Charity Blackwell. The 20th will be hosted by Carlin Newhouse. The finals will be on January 27th at the Pajama Jammy Jam Slam, hosted by me.
Yay!
So, yes. So
do we have to wear pajamas?
You clothing required, pajamas optional.
that part.
Clothing is
Just
required.
checking, just checking.
That part.
Pajamas is optional. But
Because it's gonna be cold. That's why I'm asking.
y'all know I go there and change my clothes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I put my pajamas.
Okay.
Yeah, I change my clothes in the venue most of the time.
That's the trick, huh?
Mm-hmm. Also,
I thought you did a little magic because I saw a little magic trick on Instagram. Like you had on one clothes and then you did something and then you just did like this to the camera and then you came back and it was like magic.
Wait a minute. I would like to thank Carlin Newhouse for helping me with that because I personally am not I know how to look at TikToks. I don't know how to TikTok. There's
okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
What's your shirt? What does your shirt say?
I run on coffee and chaos.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Gift from my mother, and
all I seen was I run.
Hmm?
All I seen was I run.
Yeah, I run on coffee and chaos.
Yes.
And that's the way.
Look, your mama know your way.
That's true though.
My mother knows me well. I'm trying to make sure there isn't anything. But yeah, I have nothing else major special plans so far for 2023. But again, as I say, that could change tomorrow.
Well, let me say for all of us that we are available for booking. We don't just be on here hosting. We some artists too. You better Google us, find out what we do. We host in person. We host things. We organize things. We facilitate things. We can do your workshops and things. We can come to your school, your church, and we do poetry. Come on. You can book us too. Just hit us up. Go on, email any of us at keepthemic@gmail. That's what I'm saying. That's what
right.
I'm saying.
And tell us what you're looking for. One of us has got it.
We can hook it
Pretty
up.
much. That's pretty much it.
Definitely. And let me invite anyone who has been watching Keep the Mic On as an artist and thinking, how do I get on the show? A lot of times we created a list and we have a long running list, but we also ask every artist, if you've been watching at the end, who do you think would be a good guest? If you think you would be a good guest, don't wait for somebody to recommend you. Recommend yourself. That's all I'm saying. Recommend yourself.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Well, I told you when I said we're Keep the Mic On everything, I mean like email included. Like shoot us an email.
Shoot us an email. Keep the mic on at Gmail.
Yeah, keep the mic on at Gmail. So at this point, we should let you know about one thing that is happening in 2023. I'm not going to say we're sad about it.
Rumble, please.
We're not sad about it. We're not happy, but we're not sad. But we're also because we love them. So this will be our last show with Ms. Cayenne. She is going off next year to do other projects and other things.
All the great things.
And other great things. And we were so happy that you hung out with us this year. You were definitely an amazing addition to the show. And she, as she writes, I'm appreciative for this opportunity, and I have learned so much. And we learned a lot from you when we were introduced to so many different artists.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And
Definitely.
so, and as we said too, when we switched out when we lost a host last year, you know, you're still part of the family. You're like, hey, y'all need to talk to. Let me come back and talk to. You know, I'm gonna come back and I want to talk to this person. Just let us know. We will open up the strip. We will open up the platform for you.
Sure will.
Sure will.
We will. I know what is. I'm not even sure how long. What time is it? I'm sorry. I'm just looking. We got. Okay, I see where we're at.
You got 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes because, like I said, we were probably only going an hour tonight. But Miss Cayenne, we do love you. We appreciate you. And I cannot wait to see and be a part of whatever project. I'm not going to be as much of a hermit as I was this year, but y'all know this year kind of rolled me. And
I'll be out there after the winter. I'm going to hibernate during the winter, and then I'll be out with a baby on the hip. But the baby might be walking. The baby might not even be on the hip because the baby's 7 months and already trying to take some steps. So,
that's good.
The baby might be walking, but that baby
I'm here for it.
Won't be there. That baby won't be there.
I'm here for it.
I'm here.
Aww. Cayenne said I got to hang out with the women that rule the world.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You act like you don't act like you're not gonna get another invite to the house. Like you don't know where I live.
You want to
Look, don't act like you won't be interviewed.
Right. Like we ain't gonna come back and go, hey.
We ain't gonna come back and want to interview. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm be like, how's your voice? We want to get an interview. We try to find out what's going on.
Indeed. The
baby is going to be
running. I hope not. Because I'm gonna need some running shoes if the baby gonna be running. Yeah, she's saying something and things and such. It is.
So I am pulling down the calendar and just to make sure that I'm getting the date right. This is our last show for the year, for the season. We know every year since we've started doing the show, we've always taken a break
over the holidays,
over the Christmas holidays, just because, you know, everybody's got things to do, Christmas shopping. They want to get, you know, drunk and sleep all day. You know, I'm not naming names, that kind of stuff. So we will be back January 15th. Live and in person, January 15th.
January
15th.
If I could ever find this zip drive, I might, you know, upload some stuff. So like and subscribe and turn on your bell notifications. Y'all don't know. I might surprise y'all over the next couple weeks and just pop up something. It's like, hey, here's one you haven't seen yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Like I said, I do random uploads and I'm trying to have most of this stuff up sooner rather than later.
Yes, but I have the whole collection somewhere. Problem is, y'all, I'm in the process of like decluttering and moving stuff around. So it's around here somewhere. Somewhere. And I'm gonna do.
All right. Let me put my interview hat on. Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question for all of you. How do you choose your guest for Keep the Mic On?
Oh, good question.
You're all genius.
Mine's pretty easy. Because I do products, like actual products, like I kind of just keep my ear to the ground on who I know who has talked to me or has posted that they're going to put out something, whether it be a play, a film, a book, something. Like I try to sort of pay attention to who's dropping projects. I will tell you that I want to say I'm at about 85%, maybe 90% of the projects that I've had on here, like authors, books. I have a copy of their book in my library. So if it's out and available before the interview, chances are I've probably already gotten it and read it because I want to know what I'm talking about.
I do love that about you because you always read the stuff. I do love that.
Right. I like to know kind of like the kinds of questions I should be asking. If it's one of those things where the book hasn't come out yet, but I know it's coming, then yeah, of course I won't have it till after the fact. But I really look at like the people I've had, it's who do I really want to ask the process questions to? Because you notice I talk a lot about process. I'm curious to know like how you came up with this really great and wonderful and dope concept. I think she disappeared on us.
Oh, Kaniki, she'll be back.
Yeah, but that's the answer to the question.
There she is.
There she goes.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. I got kicked out of my own question.
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but the answer to the question is, yeah, I look for like it's partially like, hey, who has stuff coming out, but the other half of it is people who I want to pick their brain about the process. Like I'm curious to know how you got there because it seems like a really interesting concept. That's it. It's just that simple.
In 3 years that we've been doing this, it's people I know.
You know a lot of people.
Huh?
Yeah.
We know a lot of people. And a lot of times what happens is we will come across somebody. I'm going to use a person that that we need to book. And it's going to happen in 2023. I just mentioned Grace from Poets for Dinner. Yeah, we need to sit and talk to Grace because she has an amazing platform that she's created in Baltimore, and she's an amazing person. I will think that and then say, you know what? She should be on Kaniki's segment so that I will pass that because it's a specific conversation. Or similarly, something else will come along and I'll go, hey, Danielle, you need to talk to this person. So that's what I will do. And because my segment is so open, I'm not using the word unfocused, but it's really
a specific timing thing happening.
Yeah, it's usually a timing thing. But my segment is usually just about really getting to know the person that I can get anybody at any time and it's okay. Right. But if I feel like so after a while, specifically, I'm going to use Grace. I'm like, all right, it's been sitting out there. Then I will call her and be like, hey, Grace, let's do this.
Right.
So that's usually what happens with me. It's usually there's a wait time, but it's usually somebody I know, somebody I want to talk to, someone whose head I want to get into about writing and process, or even with the Ephraim Nehemiah interview, which that became Slam School. Somebody wrote that. That was a comment we got under Ephraim's interview.
Was.
Like, oh, this is Slam School.
Slam School, I remember.
Yeah, so that was interesting. That's really just where my list comes from.
Gotcha. Well, definitely, I having poets and platforms are definitely looking for being a poet. The reason I wanted to create some platforms is because it's like people don't know. Y'all are getting better. Organizers, you're getting better now about booking poets, right? But it's like they don't really know where to put the poet. They don't know not to bring the poet on after you had the live band, right? So I would like, to create something where there's a platform for poets and knowing how to treat the poets right. And then I look for people who do those things, provide a platform outside of themselves. Plus, I want to know how they do it, right? Mm-hmm. Which everybody wants to know how they do it. So I pick someone who I think who has been doing it long enough that they perfected it, and they're going to teach the listener who is interested in that how to do it. Right. So I'm looking for the teacher every time, the teaching organizer type of such things. Thanks and such.
Ms. Cayenne says, I'm drawn to creatives whose artistic expressions is eclectic, who is a leader in their niche and maybe has tapped into an area of the industry that I'm personally interested in. Plus, I love learning a person's story. I agree with that. I like that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you interview these people and you know them from poetry, but you learn so much about them on, just learning their backstory is amazing. And then being able to interview them, try to interview them like you don't know, know what I mean? You know nothing about them, asking the questions that you as the audience would want to hear the answer to. So yeah, it is sometimes challenging to interview your friends, but you find out more about your friends. You're like, I didn't know that about you, right? So it's an amazing experience too. It's amazing learning experience. You learn a lot, and then sometimes you end up answering your own question, right?
Yeah.
That's a question, and then you're like, oh, I never really thought about asking myself that. So yeah.
For those that are watching, real quick, if you're watching, if you have a question for us, feel free to go ahead and drop it in the chat. We will answer.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things I will tell you I appreciate most, and I got to remember which way I'm pointing because I'm using the wrong hand.
Mm-hmm.
Your segments this year, like a lot of times you would bring artists that I'm talking about Miss Cayenne. You would bring artists who I had not met, had not seen, did not know on a personal level up to and until we did the interview. So when I'm getting to know them, I'm getting to know them with a fresh pair of eyes.
I like that. That's true. That is very true.
I can't tell you how much I really appreciate that. Like, okay, here's somebody I should have on my radar that perhaps I did not.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's good. And I do like, we are in, our age group. We are all Black women, but we interview everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we it's like introducing each other to your playlist, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And then so you get like me, like Rebecca Loren. I'm like, yes, let me go ahead and follow her, right? So yeah, that's the good part about it. We get to introduce other people to, like, introducing your friends to your friends, but listen, introducing your playlist to your playlist. So.
That is a
great description. It's like, yep, let me introduce you to my playlist. My playlist is all over the place, but it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Exactly. Somewhere it makes sense. Somewhere it makes sense. All right. So everyone, I see that there are no questions, but I did ask. Hey, look, we said what this was. Just a crossover reminder, our Cash App is floating across the bottom of the screen. So if you would like to donate to keep us going, if you can't, because we also know it's Christmas time and things, feel free. Yes, happy holidays. And I'm not born
or happy days off from work.
Yes, that's me.
Happy holidays.
They are coming.
Happy New Year. 2022 is 2022ing on its way out the door. I just want to point that out.
Bye. Not 2022. Let me wave frantically. Bye.
I need to stop 2022ing. It's doing all kinds of things. There are all kinds of things I did not have on this year's bingo card that are occurring in real time.
Yes, I agree.
I'm like, wow, okay, just say goodbye already and peace yourself out.
Yeah, just and don't touch nothing else on your way out the door.
Right. Pretty much.
So we, again, as mentioned, first thing we do, everyone, round of applause to ourselves for doing another year.
Hey, I want to go this way.
Let's applaud Miss Cayenne on her year with us here.
Thank you.
We love you, and we will definitely see you around. Again, as I mentioned, we will be back on January 15th. That'll be my night, and we'll be in. I have not booked my guest yet, but I know who I want to talk to, and there's a reason why. And I've picked this person for a reason, so I'm gonna start working on that tomorrow. I ain't even gonna lie; it ain't gonna happen tonight. So please, like, subscribe, follow. Again, if I can find what I'm looking for, we will have some bonus episodes, some bonus clips come up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again next year.
Stay safe. Be well.
Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Yes.
Stay well.
Yes. Continue to wash your damn hands.
Because something they got enough out here trying to kill us. And we'll see you all again next year. Good night.
Good night.